The Sentinels detected the anomaly at 0300 hours, a heat signature that shouldn't exist in Sector 7 of New Elysium, the city where emotions were forbidden by decree of the Collective Council. Katniss wiped the grease from her hands, her heart hammering against her ribs as she glanced at the massive form coiled in the depths of her underground workshop. The dragon stirred, its metallic scales shimmering with an otherworldly luminescence that no alien technology could replicate, because it wasn't alien technology at all. It was humanity's greatest secret, forged from the forbidden knowledge of old Earth, the knowledge of love, passion, and creation born from emotion rather than logic. "They're coming," Neo's voice crackled through her comm-piece, urgent and tight with worry. "Katniss, the enforcers have triangulated your position. You have maybe 10 minutes. Katniss had met Neo 3 cycles ago at the Resistance meeting beneath the Forgotten Archives. He was a data runner, one of the few humans who still remembered what it meant to feel, who carried the contraband memories of the old world in encrypted neural chips. When their eyes had met across that dimly lit room, something ancient and powerful had awakened between them, something the Collective had spent 2 centuries trying to eradicate. Love. "I'm not leaving her," Katniss said, running her hand along the dragon's snout. The creature, she had named her Ember, was the culmination of 5 years of secret work. Every circuit, every servo, every line of code had been written with an emotion the Collective claimed made humanity weak. But Katniss knew the truth. Emotion made humanity unstoppable. The Dragon Project had begun as a myth, a whispered legend among the Resistance. The old blueprint spoke of a weapon system so advanced that it required a pilot bonded through emotional resonance, a connection so deep that human and machine became one. The Collective had buried these designs, deeming them too dangerous, too human. Katniss had found them in her grandmother's belongings, hidden in a false bottom of an old toolbox. Her grandmother, one of the last true mechanics of old Earth, had left her a legacy and a mission. Neo burst through the service entrance, his dark eyes wild with a cocktail of fear and determination. "You're insane," he said, but there was no anger in his voice, only admiration. "The entire sector is about to lock down. They'll trap you in here." "Then help me wake her up," Katniss replied. Neo hesitated for only a moment before nodding. They had both known this day would come. The day when hiding was no longer an option. The day when humanity would have to remember what it meant to fight, not with cold efficiency, but with the fire of conviction. Together, they worked frantically, connecting the final neural linkages. Katniss strapped herself into the pilot harness, feeling the cold metal against her skin. Above them, the sounds of enforcer boots echoed through the maintenance tunnels. "The Collective fears this," Neo said, his hands flying over the control panel. "Not because it's powerful, but because of what it represents. A weapon built with love. A creation that proves emotion doesn't weaken us, it makes us gods." Katniss closed her eyes as the neural interface activated. She felt Ember's consciousness brush against her own, vast, ancient, and utterly devoted. The dragon had been built with every ounce of love Katniss possessed. Every memory of her grandmother's stories about old Earth. Every forbidden feeling she had nurtured in secret. And in that moment, she felt Neo too. His fear for her safety. His pride in what they had accomplished. His love, raw and defiant and absolutely human. The workshop exploded in light and sound as Ember rose, her wings unfurling with a resonance that shattered the acoustic dampeners. The dragon was 50 meters of living metal and burning plasma, a testament to human ingenuity when driven by passion rather than mere survival. The enforcers breached the entrance just as Ember unleashed her first roar, a sound that hadn't been heard in 200 years. The sound of humanity unchained. "Go," Neo shouted over the chaos. "Show them what we really are." Katniss didn't need to steer. She and Ember were one now, connected by something the Collective's sterile science could never understand. They burst through the workshop ceiling, scattering debris and sending shockwaves through the sector. New Elysium's pristine towers, built on the principle of emotional suppression, trembled as the dragon soared over them. Every surveillance drone, every enforcement unit, every collective overseer watched in stunned horror as the impossible took flight. A human had built a dragon. With love. In a city where love was the greatest crime. By dawn, the Collective had declared Katniss a criminal, the most wanted fugitive in 3 sectors. But by sunrise, the resistance had declared her something else entirely, a legend. Neo watched from the rooftop of the abandoned district as ember carved through the morning sky, a streak of defiant fire against the sterile gray of New Elysium. His comm piece buzzed with 100 different channels, resistance cells activating across the city, citizens looking up from their regulated lives and finally remembering what it meant to feel. He touched his chest, feeling his heart beat with an emotion that had no name in the collective's approved vocabulary: pride, hope, love. The dragon banked, circling back, and Neo saw Katniss's silhouette merged with the magnificent machine. She had become the symbol everyone needed, proof that humanity's greatest strength lay not in suppressing emotion, but in embracing it. The collective would hunt her. They would call her dangerous. They would try to kill what she represented, but it was too late. The mechanic who concealed a dragon had shown them the truth, that a single human heart, burning with love and purpose, was more powerful than any collective consciousness, and humanity, once reminded of its fire, could never be caged again. High above New Elysium, ember roared once more, and the sound was not of war, but of awakening. The legend had just begun.